welcome to the first ever Fifth Line 5R show here on Five Reasons. Of course, we're talking Florida Panthers hockey. This is the first ever show ever on the Five Reasons Network. I got my man Alex with me. He's one of our newest writers. Make sure to check his stuff out. He actually just came out with a new article earlier today. So for sure, that's always so exciting. Alex, let's get right into it, man. What an incredible start for this Florida Panthers team. I mean, listen, I've been on the radio. I've been a radio engineer for this team for quite some time, right? And I don't ever remember feeling so confident so early in the season. It actually feels like we don't have to worry about towards the end of the season if we have 20 games left, right? It just feels like this team knows how to finish. They know what it takes in the third period when they're down by one, and then it's just a mixture of things, right? And then you can kind of see that Coach Q effect, right? I mean, when you kind of look at it, what are your first quick thoughts so far? I think the team has played 6 total games so far only. Through 6 games, what are your first thoughts?
The energy the team's bringing every night is something I've never seen before. I mean, I've been watching the Panthers since I was probably 5 years old. I'm 20 now, so it's a good amount of Panthers hockey, and as you said, now we don't have to wait and say, "Oh, is there 20 games left? Do we have to make a late push?" Like, 6 games in, obviously, we haven't played the top teams in the division, but the new additions on this team is just making it really fun to watch. Carter Verhaeghe, Anthony Duclair, Patrick Hornqvist, the energy they're bringing night in, night out is just amazing.
No, and then you kind of mentioned the new guys in town, right? I mean, it's unbelievable how you have Patrick Hornquist, Carter Verhaeghe, and Anthony Duclair. They're all up there in points, right? You have Hornquist with 7, Verhaeghe with 7, Duclair with 6. Yes, Duclair's not on the scoreboard with goals, but he's doing the little things, right? I mean, those are things that, of course, don't account on the stat sheet. And of course, any hockey fan can see, well, he has 0 goals, but he has 6 assists. That means the puck, he's getting the puck in places for others to score. And at the end of the day, we don't need him to score 15, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot. You basically just need him to play his game. And this is what Coach Q all of a sudden has envisioned, right? With all these 3 new guys coming in, you have leadership on all ends. And then especially with Barkov not having to play 30 minutes. I mean, it's been quite clear, right? During the past couple of seasons, Barkov and Huberto have always had to play those so many amount of minutes during games because either the game was tied or he basically didn't have any confidence in anybody else to step up in the third period, correct? But now all of a sudden you see the difference. You see what it takes when you have the right guys in the proper how do I say it? In the proper function, correct, right? So it's working, and it's working so early that who cares? The team could be down 3-0 for nothing, but that in that locker room during the intermissions, if that ever happens, that Coach Quenneville, he has the direct, mindset, and these players know this, because these guys have already been in his system since last season, and of course, one of the key things in this whole team's season will be the goaltenders. So far, they've played unbelievable. Whether it's Barkov, whether it's whatever backup that comes in, it gives you that sort of confidence that every single game that they're going to give it their all, and that this hockey team is going to be in it in the third period. And what I'm saying, like you're coming back off a road trip where I don't remember feeling so confident playing in Columbus, right? But those 2 games, I mean, I haven't felt so at ease with
Yeah.
Panthers playing in Columbus. I mean, normally,
And they beat Toronto in the play-in round. Toronto was one of the top
yeah. I
division.
mean,
I mean, we know the
yeah.
Leafs can't get out of the first round often, but Columbus is a good hockey team. They have a great coach, and we took 3 points off of them. Took a 1 loss in a shootout. I mean, this Panthers team, they really look different. Just looking back from last year's team, I think 13 different players have suited up in the 6 games that weren't on the team last year or didn't play a game last year. And as you said, Carter Verhaeghe, Anthony Duclair, Patrick Hornqvist, none of those guys were on the team last year. They slotted really nicely into that top 6 role. And specifically Duclair, 0 goals, but he's drawing players away from Barkov and Verhaeghe. He can take 2 guys on at once with a quick move. He has great speed, and Barkov's looked dominant this year. I've never seen a start to Barkov's season where he is just ripping pucks. I mean, he took 8 shots one game. Barkov's normally a pass first player, and
No, I'm
yeah,
saying, Alex, that Barkov looks so fresh with just 6 games in. Normally, is like I said, he would have had to play so many more minutes already because you're trying to get the flow of things. But to be able to come back off a road trip in Columbus and Detroit and get 7 points out of 8, that is extremely crucial because, again, our state rival just won the Stanley Cup, correct? That to me is where I want to see where this team stands. That's where I believe every single Panther fan has been wanting to finally say, wow, I've been waiting for this moment to go toe to toe with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And right now, I think the Florida Panthers are in such a great position to do that when it comes to whatever position it is on the ice 5-on-5, penalty kill, power play. All those things are rolling right now. You're tops in the NHL in the PK and tops in the NHL on the power play. I mean, that right there makes it so much more easier, to win games, right? So then
yeah.
you have 2 against Nashville. You got 2 against once again with Detroit. Then you have 3 against Tampa Bay. That's what I'm waiting for.
Like you said, Tampa just won a cup. This is their second cup. We have 0. They have 2. Cross-state rivals. Year in, year out, you're kind of scared of Tampa. I mean, the players they have, obviously Kucherov's on LTIR the entire season, but they still have Braden Point, Victor Hedman, Vasilevsky. Before the season started, if you told me, oh, you got to play Tampa 10 times, I don't think we're winning 3 games on Tampa. Now, looking at the way this team's played, we can go toe-to-toe with Tampa. I think we can split it evenly. Like, Florida is coming to play. A lot of analysts had them not making the playoffs this season. After what I've seen, they look better than Columbus. I mean, they dominated Columbus in those 2 games, specifically in the loss. I think they looked pretty well for a team that lost the game. And we could definitely take any team in this division. I think it's a blessing in disguise that the Panthers are playing in a division where they have to play certain teams 10 times a year. You see that same team 3 nights in a row sometimes, you're going to get in their head. And I think the Panthers can take any team in this division, especially Tampa.
Yeah, Alex. So that one loss, obviously the Panthers did come back, right? In the third period. Once again, Patrick Hornqvist. Listen, if there's anybody that can stand in front of that net and take cross checks in the back, and he's going to give you 2 of them back, right? I mean, this guy here has shown that, I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to do the dirty little things that it takes up front. All you other skill guys, Ekblad, Barkov, Huberto, Berhage, do your thing. I'll take care of the big guys up front. And that's what it is, and that's what it's going to take for this team to not only make the playoffs, but to actually go past the first round, because I don't remember this team being past the first round of the playoffs probably since what? Maybe when the Panthers made it all the way to the finals, right? I mean,
I think that might be the last time, actually.
Last time. So I think it's just a matter of time where you just win the first round, you move to the second round, because this team to me has the talent for it right now. You look at the standings. You got to win Detroit. You got to beat Chicago. You got to go toe-to-toe with Carolina and Tampa Bay. There's absolutely no excuse that why you should be losing to a Chicago or any of those teams that I mentioned before, because those are points that are going to be absolutely crucial. You're not playing the East. You're not going out West. None of those things matter, right? So, and I think I'm going to quote my colleague Doug Plagas, which he says it best. When you play a team on 2 consecutive games, it makes it difficult to win those consecutive games, right? But if you're the hockey team that shows the grit and the power and the determination, and you're so well coached the way that they are right now, it is possible, and we've seen it. They just come back off a road trip where Detroit gave us their best shot. Detroit even scored first, and then all of a sudden, guess what? We weren't the team making the mistakes in the last game. They made the mistakes. It's about time that the Panthers capitalize on those things, and that's exactly what's been happening. So, it's like I said, let me see a little bit more during this homestand, because then you hit Tampa Bay. You get them 3 times. I need to see a 60-minute first game between Tampa Bay. Then I could probably get a more better outlook of it. But it's very exciting to be in this position, knowing that, you know what, the coaching's going to be there and the effort's going to be there night in, night out. Not because of, like I said, Barkov doesn't have to go out there and, skate 30 minutes a night anymore. But it's the little things, the PK and the power play and the goaltending. Those 3 things, if you keep those 3 things on a consistent level throughout the season, Alex, you got such a great opportunity to make it all the way to the finals. I'm not saying that they are, but you look at the past teams, right, that have won the Cups. The Penguins back to back were one of the best teams in PK and power play and goaltending, right? You look at the Blues when they beat the freaking heavy boys Boston Bruins in that game 7. Those teams have won the cups lately because of 3 things: goaltending, PK, and power play. And right now, the Florida Panthers have all 3.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The 2 goalies. You got Chris Driedger and Sergei Bobrovsky. Right now in the NHL with the 56-game condensed season, a lot of these top teams like Montreal, Vegas, they're running 1A, 1B goalie tandems, and I think that's really important, especially when you're playing back-to-backs. Right now, I think it's 3-3. They split the games, Bobrovsky and Driedger. Bobrovsky had a shaky year last year. It was a 3.23 goals against average, ranked bottom in the league. This year, he's had his ups and downs in the 3 games he's played, but he is 3-0. And Chris Driedger, for a guy that was playing in the AHL and just came out of nowhere, basically, he's proven himself to be one of the better backups in the league. I mean, he plays like a starter. And goaltending has been an issue for the Panthers. They signed Bobrovsky $10 million contract per year for 7 years. He didn't show out last year, but I think it could be a bounce back year. He's a 2-time Vezina winner. He beat the Lightning 2 years ago in a playoff series. When Bob stands on his head, it's hard to get past him.
Well, for sure. But then also, when you have that backup goaltender that you can trust, just in case anything happens to Bob, you have now a good amount of games as a sample that could tell you, listen, on a bad night, he'll give up 4 to 5 on a bad night. But on a consistent night, he'll be there with those saves, which will give you a chance to win those games. And it's like I said, the whole season is not a sprint, right? You got to just roll with it, go week by week, game by game. As far as I look, because of the new scheduling, because of I think the Panthers have had to cancel 4 total games, right, or 5. They play now basically every other day. So conditioning is going to be a thing, endurance is going to be a thing. Those are things that if your hockey team is going to have to endure that throughout the season, what better coach to have than Coach Quenneville? I mean, his Chicago Blackhawks team basically played almost a whole year for 3 to 4 years, right? They were always in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they probably rested 1 or 2 months, and they came back right into training camp. So if there's any coach in this league that knows how to put their players in the best position to win with short on amount of time of rest, it's Coach Q, man. And this is why, to me, the expectations have now. It was here. It's now rising. It's higher now, right? Without question. It's no more, we got to wait 5 games in hand because we got to see what the other teams can do before we can say that we made the playoffs.
Yeah.
The bar for this, look at me, I almost said football, right? The bar for this hockey team has climbed like this, okay? And those are the expectations that I think the true diehard Panthers fan that have been with this franchise since 1993 are really searching for, to be happy and excited about. Not to go against a Tampa Bay team for the first time in the season and get blown out 5-0. I don't think that's going to happen anymore. And if it does happen once, it's not going to happen again. And that's where I have fully confidence in this team.
I mean, you're playing the same teams in the same division. That means if you take points off of them, you're going up in the standings, they're going down. There's no cross conference play. Like you said, you're not going out west. You're not playing LA. You're not playing Anaheim. When you beat Tampa or when you beat Carolina, you go up 2 points, they don't move. And 4 teams make it out of this division, and then you meet the same teams in the first and the second round of the playoffs. So there's no better chance for the Panthers to have success in the playoffs than this year, in my opinion. Patrick Hornqvist, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Coach Q, we know he's got 3 Stanley Cup championships. This is a winning mentality. I think this team, Bill Zito really put on a nice team over this offseason. First offseason as the general manager of the Florida Panthers. He went out, he made moves. Carter Verhaeghe, Alexander Wenberg, picked up Radko Gudas, traded Mike Matheson, who was struggling last year, for Patrick Hornqvist, who's leading the team in goals. You love to see it.
Yeah, and then also one key thing too, I don't see many turnovers in our own end, right? I mean, if there's 1 or 2 of them, obviously, but remember last year, right? So many turnovers, unfortunately, on our end, and that the other teams were able to capitalize with scoring goals, and that actually killed so much momentum throughout the season. That's one thing I think that Coach Q really worked on, and he's been able to just adjust to his style and everybody else as well. To answer this quick question from Anthony, it's too early to talk about who do we trade for? I mean, come on, let's be honest here. The team is on a roll right now. Right now, you don't need any pieces. You don't need anybody. What you need is this team to keep growing. What you need this team is to keep winning and to keep playing the type of hockey that we know that they could, especially with Coach Q at the helm. Anthony, Alex, if you have anything else, please. We're kind of gonna wrap it up here. Got about an hour in a slow puck job against Nashville. For you Panther fans, make sure to listen to 560 WQAM for the game with Doug Plagueis and Bill Lindsay. Final things, Alex.
Yeah, tonight you're playing Nashville. This is probably the best team you played so far in the season. I think they might have about as even of a team as Florida. You got the former Norris Trophy winner from last season, Roman Josi. You got Victor Arvidsson, Philip Forsberg. This is going to be a battle. These next two games, this is really going to show what kind of team the Panthers is. Don't expect it to be as easy as when you played Detroit or when you played Chicago. This is the team that's probably going to contend for a playoff spot in the Discover Central Division. So Panther fans, be excited because you got a nice team and you can make some moves.
For sure, for sure. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the first ever Fifth Line 5R show. We'll have plenty of more to come. Let's hope the Panthers win tonight. Tomorrow night, once again, against Nashville. And they got 2 more at home against Detroit. And then it's the next 3 that I've already circled on my calendar, and Alex knows this. Let's see how we go toe-to-toe with our in-state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk soon.